Hey, it's me, MLB. Here's Pull Chapter 5, titled Omnipresent Aizawa. Act natural, you thought as you looked down at the floor, then at the wall, then fiddled with your hands, then looked back at him again. His dead stare was still locked onto you, and you looked away again quickly. No, don't look at me, you cried internally, looking down at your hands again and fiddling with your fingers, stretching them out and braiding them together, a habit that you'd gotten into when you were trying to distract yourself. The guy next to you looked mortified, eyes almost hanging out of his head as he glanced across and saw what you were doing with your fingers, but all of your peripheral attention was on Aizawa. The next time you glanced up the front, he was looking away, and you sighed with relief, relaxing and trying not to look at him again, but that proved to be very difficult, seeing as he was on the podium right in your line of sight. Multiple times your eyes met his, and multiple times you quickly looked away again, fidgeting or otherwise giving your discomfort away. Finally, the 40-minute introductory session was done, and a small break ensued before your first workshop, and you followed the crowd out to the foyer for refreshments. Slowly you walked around the long table set up and delicately picked off small morsels of food, trying to look as dainty as possible when all you really wanted to do was grab that plate of biscuits over there and scoff the lot of them. Light chatter rose around you, and you felt very comfortable blending in with the crowd as you walked around. "Take a picture," you heard someone say from nearby, giggles following afterwards. You looked over towards the voice and saw a small crowd that had gathered around a yellow thing propped up against the wall. "What is that?" you thought curiously as you walked over to join the curious onlookers. Your brain finally comprehended the sight before you, and you tilted your head with confusion. "Is that a guy in a sleeping bag? What the heck?" The guy stirred and you recognised him. "Oh, bloody Aizawa," you thought. "Why is this omnipresent mess suddenly in my life?" As people pulled phones out to take pictures, a very loud blonde person stepped into the mix and projected his quirk. "Yeah!" he hollered. "That's my friend!" Someone actually admits that they're friends with Aizawa, you thought with an internal laugh as the loud guy grabbed the sleeping bag by the hooded part and started to drag it off down the hall. Small comments were made, but slowly people dispersed and you shook your head. What a strange guy. The day dragged on and you fell asleep multiple times during the presentations, but no one seemed to notice. I should have asked Aizawa for a spare sleeping bag, you thought to yourself as you yawned again. Tonight we have a meet and greet, and we encourage you all to attend because it will be good to meet other people with like-minded goals, the presenter said at the end of the presentation. It will be held downstairs at the bar in this hotel. First 2 drinks are free. He had me at free, you thought as you sat up a little straighter. The ending remarks were made, and then you were all excused and you stood up and stretched before heading for the door. Your only thoughts were to get to the bar, have your free drinks, pretend to talk to people, then leave. Should I go with wine or beer? You wondered as you followed people into the bar and walked up to the bar to make your order. "What can I get ya?" the bartender asked once he'd come over to you. "Hi, I'm with the teachers' conference," you said, flashing him your card. "Could I please get a drink?" "Yep," the guy replied, turning away to get your drink. "So you copy people's drink orders too then?" a dead, deep voice said from the bar stool beside you, and you jumped, your head whipping towards them. "Oh my god," you deadpanned. "Aizawa, I swear to God, you're everywhere." "Maybe you're stalking me," he replied dryly. No, I had this planned since..." "It was a ruse," he monotoned, putting his drink down and rolling his head to the side to stare at you with bloodshot eyes. "You joke?" you teased. "Very funny," he replied bluntly. Don't mind him," the loud guy from earlier said as he strolled over. "He has people issues, like daddy issues, but with everyone." I'm Hizashi Himada. Pleased to meet you," the eccentric pro hero said as he eagerly put his hand out for you to shake. "I'm Yinlin," you replied. "Wait, aren't you a radio host?" "That's me," he said as he touched one hand to his chest and flung the other out to the side. "I'm a triple threat, baby. I'm a hero, radio host, and a teacher." "Oh, I see," he replied. "How did you and Aizawa meet?" you asked him, still curious about the silent guy at the bar top beside you. "We went to high school together," Hizashi said proudly. "I'm the extrovert, and..." "As if she can't tell you're the extrovert, Hizashi," Aizawa deadpanned, interjecting before taking another sip of his drink. "And I adopted his introverted ass," Hizashi finished. You laughed. "Isn't that the way, though? Extroverts always adopt introverts," he said with a smile. "I guess you're right," Hizashi said loudly as he threw his arms out emphatically. "Your drink, miss?" The bartender called to you, and you thanked him and took it. "So, Lin, what you doing here?" Hisashi asked as he took a seat on the stool next to Aizawa and leaned back on the bar top with his elbows while Aizawa kept his back to you. "Well, I'm really hoping to land my dream job," you admitted softly to Hisashi. "And what would that be?" he asked with a big grin. "UA," you said with a smile. "I want to teach at UA." "Woo!" Hisashi yelled loudly. "That's where—" "Why UA?" Aizawa suddenly asked as he turned in his chair to look at you. Well, I really wanted to be part of training and training the next generation of heroes," he said softly. "All my friends wanted to become heroes, but I thought it would be more satisfying to help a lot of heroes reach their goals rather than just aiming for a hero myself." Hisashi went to speak again, and Aizawa stopped him by placing a hand on his arm. "You can't just walk up to UA and smile for them to let you in. They only take the best teachers, and on top of that, you're not a hero. It's unlikely you'd get in," Aizawa said. "That is the longest sentence you've ever said to me, and it has to be something like that." You soured with annoyance, scowling at him. Oops, Yin is just a little bit pissed. We will have to wait to see what happens in Chapter 6, which is coming tomorrow. See you then.